We welcome in Andrew Brandt, who spent a decade as Vice President of Player Finance for the Packers. He's the man who signed Aaron Rodgers to his first contract. And Andrew, thanks for taking the time. What do you remember most, first and foremost, about that signing?
Well, I'll never forget the night, Stephen, where we picked him, where two things happened real quick. All the players we had rated as first-round grades, except one, were off the board. And number two, no one was taking Aaron Rodgers. Even teams that told him, we later found out, told him if he was there, they would take him. So it was quite an event. We had a lot of people in the room like, oh my God, we can't do this. This player won't help us this year, maybe not next year, maybe never. And then of course, the late Ted Thompson kind of looked at me and everyone and said, what do I always say? Trust the board. And we trusted the board, and we had zero need for a quarterback. We had the most durable quarterback in the history of the sport, but we took him. I just remember like it was yesterday, the Lambeau Field party going on below us booed so loudly, it shook our souls. And of course, Brett called the coach, Brett's agent called me. So there we were 15 years ago in a scene that no one could have predicted even a day before it happened. And as I'm sure we're about to talk about, it happened again last April.
Are there any parallels that you can draw to that moment with Brett that you personally went through and what you're seeing now with Aaron?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing now is that we didn't see a negative reaction, at least publicly, from Aaron about the pick. I think he went on media and he talked about, he was surprised by it, as everyone was. But I think what's going on now, this is my own, I haven't talked to Aaron, I haven't talked to the team. My own feeling is that Aaron was the good soldier for a year. Didn't really bring up the Jordan Love pick, didn't put pressure on it. But at the end of the day, he probably wants to know what's the plan. There's going to be a transfer from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, just as there was from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. The only question in my mind, and in his mind probably, and in everyone watching's mind, is when. And I know the Packers don't want to answer this because I didn't want to answer it 15 years ago. But when? Is it 2022? Is it 2023? We just don't know. And that's what's going on. I think it's going to call for a real open and honest conversation between the team and Aaron or Aaron's agents.
And do you feel like Aaron is owed that conversation at this point?
I do. I'm not sure the team is going to have a clear answer because, maybe it's not 2022. Aaron sat for 3 years. For him to sit 3 years, Love would be 2023. But as we know from football, since Aaron, no one has sat even close to that amount. Pat Mahomes sat a year. But most of these guys, first-round quarterbacks, they play. They all play. So I think we need to get out of the conversation, Stephen, this idea that Jordan Love is just going to be a career backup at the Packers or he's going to be traded. How are you going to trade him? Or a guy hasn't played. They already invested a one. They traded up a one. So he's going to play. He's going to play, not backup, play. And that's what we all have to come to grips with, including Aaron. I never thought I'd say it before April 20th, whatever that date was, but we now have an expiration date on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I never thought we would, but we do. And the only question is when. I think there's two things that have to happen. Number one, clarity, whatever the clarity the Packers are willing to give Aaron about when. And number two, I think we need, I think there's a call for a contract adjustment. And this can go a lot of different ways. I don't think the Packers should do an extension because he's not going to be there more than 3 years. There's no reason to extend. People extend sometimes for cap, but the Packers shouldn't be pushing off cap into a guy that's not going to be there long term. But I think it calls for just a contract adjustment of money, more money. No strings attached. More money, because in the same breath, he's an MVP and he's a placeholder. Think about that. He's an MVP and he's a placeholder for the next guy. And that deserves some extra compensation, I think.
Will Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback of the Packers next year?
2021? Yes. Yes. 2022? I don't know. People are now realizing, I think, what they all should have realized on draft night. It's what they realized 15 years ago. Well, we realized 15 years ago that at some point we were going to hand the keys over to Aaron Rodgers. And at some point they're going to hand the keys over to Jordan Love. Packer fans are the most spoiled fans in the history of sports. And this is why. They've had 30 years of franchise quarterback. And the goal with Love is to have 45 years of franchise quarterback. Whether it works out or not, who the heck knows? But yeah, there will come a day when the Packers don't have a franchise quarterback and they're like every other team in the NFL.
Who has more power in this situation, Andrew? Is it Aaron Rodgers or is it the Packers?
Well, the Packers aren't going to trade him. I mean, as Mark Murphy said, they're not stupid. They're not going to trade him. And again, they may in a year, but they're not going to do it now. I can't imagine Aaron doing anything about wanting to get out. I do think he would want clarity. So I think he's got power to adjust his contract. They've got the power to keep him there.
And again, you were in the trenches with this decision to move from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. How tough is that from a front office standpoint, just mentally to make that decision?
You know, it's very tough. I was at the Packers from 1999 on, and we would always have quarterbacks, as everyone knows about Ron Wolf. But they were drafted to be traded, really. You know, my former client, I was an agent before the Packers, my former client, Matt Hasselbeck, basically drafted to be traded. Aaron Brooks, drafted to be traded. And then we got to a point in 2005, like, this one's not drafted to be traded. This is a first round pick, and he's going to play. I think you got to stay true to your convictions. I mean, not only did I get questions every day about why'd we pick Aaron Rodgers, but then I got questions about, are we really going to transfer the team to Aaron Rodgers, even after we picked him? And I think that's what's going to happen now. People are going to continue to ask, are we really going to transfer the team to Jordan Love? And the Packers have shown their hand. Yes. Yes. You don't take a guy in the first round and trade up for a guy in the first round unless you're going to play him. And again, I say it again, they're not trading Jordan Love. So this is where we are. Transfer date, in my mind, is either 2022 or 2023. I don't know which.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your insight. I know it's a team that you know very well and a player you know very well. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Happy to do it. Good to see everybody up there in my old stomping grounds. Take care.